I'm glad you enjoyed accounting and finance. The one question I did have for you is, did you ever think about doing the standard chartered accountancy qualification? Is that something that crossed your mind, or is that something you wanted to do but life had other plans?
So I did consider that after my A-levels. At that point in time, Pakistan had a few institutions that were offering that, and specifically in Lahore. The names are not coming back to me right now, but I think more important for me was having a university experience. So one thing that I've heard about CA is that they, like, of course, like you have to study a lot. It's a very difficult designation to get. But for me, the university life factor was a bit more important, which I would not have gotten had I gone for a CA. So, and then accounting and finance degree at LUMS actually provided you an exemption for inter-CA at that time. I'm not sure if that's still the case. So then I thought, you know what, if I go this route, I'm going to put in 4 years and I'm going to definitely get an inter-CA exemption. And if going forward, I want to pursue a CA in my life, I can do that. So I wanted to keep that option open while also focusing on having university experience, which I think was a very good decision at that point in time, because LUMS really helped me with my confidence and just like opening up my mind to a broader experience, whether it be like questioning some beliefs that we've had going, like started in like a traditional education system in Pakistan, but also like challenging my own thinking, which I probably would not have been able to do if I went for a CA route. But having said that, of course, like it really depends on what your preference is. For me, the university experience was a must. So that's why I chose LUMS.
I think that's a very well-rounded answer. Now, I think to that effect, right? A lot of people obviously struggle with the financial commitment that comes with LUMS. And needless to say, it's one, I wouldn't even say one, it's probably the most expensive university Pakistan has today. So you have to come from a certain class or have that privilege to be able to pay for it, provided you not come through the merit-based scholarships that it offers, which are rare and few and far between. And I don't know what it looks like today. Do you think the experience you got at LUMS and the education you got at LUMS was well worth the money? Because I feel like a lot of people choose CA academies also because it's cheaper. They just have to pay towards the exam, and they feel like eventually it'll put them in a stead to get a good job that pays better later.
Yeah, that's fair. I think maybe that privilege is sometimes unnoticed, even by my own self. So yeah, of course, like LUMS is pretty expensive in that sense, even more so today than it was at that point in time. I don't know. I think the last I heard, the per fee semester is about 7 or 8 lakhs, which is crazy to me. When I studied, I think the fees was about 2.5 lakh per semester. Even that was pretty good, like pretty hefty at my time.
That time.
So, of course, like they have some programs where they offer some financial aid, but even that financial aid process is so lengthy, because I had a few friends who used to apply for that for every financial year, for every academic year, sorry. And then they had to explain so many things, and you had to go into like so many details of how much do you shop each month, how much residual income you have, how many people are earning in your family, how much space do you have in your room. So it's like going into the details of your life, which is a bit uncomfortable. I thought at that point in time, it's fair in a sense that they have to really validate where they're spending their money. But at the end of the day, it is a pretty expensive university. So if you don't have that privilege, or if you don't have the financial means to go there, so I would understand that people generally take the CA route, which is a good option if you want to end up with a good job and it's a good designation. Coming to today, I'm not sure if having a CA really puts you in a good position in the market now. I have talked to a few people, and I feel like people even who have done CAs are now like, I don't think that was really worth it. So yeah, that's my take on it. I feel like at the end of the day, university degree really does help. It doesn't have to be LUMS. It could be any other university where you get a reasonable education for sure. But of course, like if you're able enough, and if you're academically there, and you have that opportunity to go to LUMS while managing the finances, I would still say it's a very good institution.
I'm unstoppable.
think it is. So just for wider audience, I did spend a month at LUMS before I got my UK visa, moved
Yes,
to
you did.
London, right? Azka touched upon a few things earlier as well. So when she was talking about having a personal brand or doing extracurriculars or how important sports were at LUMS, one thing I can say about the university, and it's a testament to what it offers, they had courts and stadiums for every good sport at international standard or Olympics level standards. They had a pool of an Olympics level standard. There was a proper cricket field. LUMS puts a lot of investment, and when you go to the campus, there's no way, excuse my language, but there's no way in hell you feel like you're in a Pakistani university that doesn't have a decent campus, and it literally can trump most international universities from the facilities it offers to you today. And they invest a lot in women. Like I remember there were selections for football team, female football team. And even though I'd never played football, but I did go for the trials, got selected. But there were things that, we're not openly, freely able to do where, LUMS was pretty chill. And to Aska's point, other thing that did stand out for me, and obviously some of it I didn't notice because I was Karachi thoroughbred, moving to Lahore, being very Karachi, is that the level of mix you were getting from different cities. It truly is a very good university. And I remember our group was tagged as Mini Karachi. So you learn a lot about different regional nuances and differences. I picked up some of the Lahore slang, and Lahore people picked up some of our Karachi slang. And, it taught us a lot to come out of our own bubble. And then obviously, like you said, the MUN side of it. However, to your point, the reason I laughed when you talked about chartered accountancy is because I'm a fellow chartered accountant. I did my ACA in the UK, and I can truly vouch for the fact that in this day and age, none of these things matter, even though I went through the ruling graduate scheme for minimal salary, thinking that, being an ACA would help. That's besides the point. I never practiced as an accountant. That qualification in the beginning probably did help me get some good brands on my CV. But in today's day and age, I feel like even an undergrad, barring just the experience and the exposure, might just be a waste because people can use AI and maybe develop something or go towards the entrepreneurial route or have a startup and maybe like be 10 steps ahead of us from now.
Yeah, I mean, I was reading this post the other day which said, like, especially for millennials, we were taught from our childhood that, you have to study, you have to you have to get good grades, then you have to get a good job, and then you work in that job, and that's how your life trajectory should be. A lot of it is getting challenged now. So a lot of people, I think statistically, a lot of Gen Zs are not even going to universities to get an undergrad, let alone a master's or a CA or a CFA or a CPA designation. And the reason it's working out for them because they're more into entrepreneurship. They have they're creative, they have good ideas, they work on that, they have that drive to make that work for them. Which is pretty interesting. So the world is ever changing, of course. Maybe that traditional mindset that we grew up with is not too relevant, not to say it's like completely archaic. But I think the pie is shrinking on that side. So there's definitely that unlearning and learning concept that's happening, even for my own self, if I were to say personally. Just trying to rethink how the world is and where do you see yourself and where you position yourself is very important these days.
Follow Zarish Rasheed podcast and like and subscribe Zarish Rasheed on YouTube.